Hello, I'm Paul, and this is my daughter Emily. Last November, we got a surprise invitation. French television Channel 5 was making a documentary, Lucy in Thailand, and they wanted us to be part of it. The film follows Lucy, a really inspiring woman with a genetic disease, as she travels the world, pushing past her limits. Her journey took her to Thailand, and the producers were interested in our work playing piano for rescued elephants. We thought it sounded like a great opportunity and said yes. The plan was to meet Lucy in Phuket, 1,000 kilometers south of our home in Bangkok. Since January is a perfect time to travel in Thailand, we decided to make it a 2-week road trip, taking the piano and letting our daughter Emily explore the coast. Glahan is my best friend. We met almost 15 years ago on my 50th birthday. At the time, Glahan was an elephant mahout caring for a blind bull elephant named Clara. Glahan is Karen. His family moved to Thailand from Burma as refugees. He's the kind of guy I know I can call on anytime, anywhere, and he'll be there for us. He's had a tough life, but he never complains and always has a big smile. He's just a fantastic friend. Glahan had never taken a holiday or seen the sea before, so we invited him to join our road trip. We booked a minivan and a trusted driver for the 2 weeks. We didn't really have a plan other than to meet the French TV crew at the end of January. This film is a collection of 10 short segments about our road trip and our time with Lucy and the elephants. We're happy to share it with you now. This is one of the upright pianos we've taken out into the wilds to play for elephants and even macaques. Taking an electric piano would be so much easier, but we found the elephants respond to music much more played on an acoustic piano. Electric pianos have so many great uses, but they are not as strong as an acoustic piano. If an elephant even ever so slightly rests its trunk on it, as they sometimes do, it would be curtains for the keyboard. The piano got a tune before we left, as there wasn't much hope of finding a tuner at the other end, and this piano is very good at keeping its tune when moved. The piano set off a few days before us, and we arranged to meet up near Phuket. We wanted Emily and Glahan to enjoy the 1,000-kilometre journey, especially along the coast, so we planned on dividing the journey into 2 days. To take our art materials and easels with us, we opted for a minivan instead of a car. Glahan removed the back seats to make the necessary space. We packed my half-finished elephant paintings and plenty of large blank canvases for Emily. Although the drive from Bangkok to Phuket is typically around 12 hours, we found that too long for a child, preferring a leisurely pace. We stopped for lunch and were surprised to find a piano, and Emily couldn't resist playing it. We planned our first stop in Pak Nam Pran, just past Hua Hin, allowing Glahan his first glimpse of the sea. A cool sea breeze blew in, very refreshing, and it was good to stretch our legs. We had the beach to ourselves, and Glahan was happy. Seeing the world through Emily's young eyes reminds me of the wonders to be discovered, and it makes me happy. After that break by the sea, we continued into the night, not knowing where we'd stay. We found a hotel when we needed to stop in what seemed like the middle of nowhere. To our surprise, it was right on the beach. I practice music a lot and live in a big city. The two sounds I crave most are silence and the gentle breaking of waves on the shore. Tonight, I had both.
Oh, you're like therapy. You can't carry away. I'm a wolf there.
One thing visitors and expats like me in Thailand love is the sea. Depending on which coast you travel along south, you'll see either a sunrise or a sunset over the ocean. This is the Sapli Villa Beach Resort in Chumpon, about halfway to Phuket. We enjoyed our short stay and plan to return on our way home. Chumpon is famous among ornithologists for the annual migration of raptors, birds of prey, over the sea from mid-October to mid-November as they travel from Siberia to warmer regions. Even though we were a bit late in the season, we still saw a good number of huge hawks catching thermals and heading south. It was amazing. You can explore many contrasting beaches all along the coast. Some are luxurious resorts, especially popular right now during the high season. We prefer the quieter beaches of the fishermen. The sky threatened the rain that was forecast, but the weather seemed to change its mind just for us. The sun burst through, transforming the sea into a vibrant turquoise. After an overnight stay at a motel close to Phuket, we met up with our piano the following morning to continue the rest of our journey to the elephants. We're now at the Talang branch of the Elephant Jungle Sanctuary in Phuket. This place with just 8 elephants is really peaceful and secluded. Even though it's the busiest time of year, the owner suggested we play for the elephants here because it's so quiet during the day. The owner said we could wander around and pick our favourite spot. Since elephants love shade and bamboo, we found the ideal place and unloaded the piano. Klahan was happy to meet the mahouts and they got along well, as expected. After getting to know each other, we headed off to find a hotel for the night. We were in Phuket for almost a week before the French TV crew got there. The elephant owner was so nice and gave us an hour every day before lunch to play for her elephants before Lucy came. The Talang Elephant Sanctuary is within easy reach of the airport and the beach. Klahan was fascinated by the planes arriving on the island, carrying passengers from distant lands. Emily grew up with elephants, so it was amazing to see her play music for them for the first time, especially on the saxophone. It's kind of like an elephant's trunk in a way. This elephant is called Sitong, which means gold in Thai. Over the days we saw how gentle she was and that it was safe to be up close to her. She loved eating maize. Just like we planned, Lucy and the crew showed up. We clicked right away and became great friends. We want the film of Lucy with the elephants to be special for the documentary, so we won't go into the amazing moments we had together with the elephants. Finding a hotel with available rooms in Phuket was a challenge, but we got lucky. Happily for Emily, the hotel owner had 2 granddaughters and they became friends. After school, Emily played with them at the beach and we shared an evening meal together. If you live in Thailand and love animals, you'll know about a wonderful sanctuary for street dogs and cats in Phuket called Soi Dog. It surely must be one of the best of its kind in the world. Some years ago, Soi Dog invited us to stop by with the piano and play for the dogs if we were ever in the area. This was the perfect occasion. Visiting Soi Dog with the piano had always been a dream of ours.
We're at Soi Dog.
What we didn't expect was such a warm welcome from the Soi Dog team. We met many dogs, some partly blind, some completely blind, some missing ears and legs, and all of them seemed happy and full of the joy of being alive. The volunteers couldn't have been nicer. Soi Dog, simply put, restores faith in human nature. Soi Dog provides sanctuary to around 1,400 dogs and 400 cats. It's a huge operation. The piano was placed in a garden where volunteers walk the dogs. We have 6 dogs and 8 cats, and if we lived in the countryside instead of a city, we'd have many more. I get very attached to dogs, especially street dogs like these. one of the senior dogs, named Takao, was brought to the piano and she seemed interested in the music. When I held her on my knee, I felt that familiar wobble, the one that comes when you fall in love with an animal.
We're at Soy Dog and we're gonna go see the cats.
We got on very well with the Soy Dog team. We didn't have time to see the sanctuary the same day, so we got invited to have a tour the next day, a Saturday, when most of the staff and volunteers would take a break. Emily loves cats and was taken to visit part of the cat sanctuary. Emily fell in love with a blind cat named Jerome. At the time of this video, we are in the process of adopting her. She just needs one more operation and Jerome can come to her new forever home with us in Bangkok. Soy Dog is such a pleasant place to walk around, not just for the dogs, but for the human helpers too, of course. It's rare to visit any animal facility that is so good and so friendly. The place is spotlessly clean, no mean feat for a sanctuary of 1,800 animals. Soy Dog Foundation in Phuket is focused on improving the lives of street dogs and cats. They rescue those who are injured or abandoned, provide necessary veterinary care and offer a safe haven. They're also deeply committed to finding these animals loving homes, and they run educational programs to encourage responsible pet ownership and the importance of spaying and neutering. Ultimately, their goal is to reduce the number of strays and ensure better lives for these animals. The staff are dedicated in a way that is rare to see, and we felt so privileged to have had this wonderful opportunity to become part of the Soy Dog team as volunteers. Soy Dog's CEO, Louise, and her husband, Sam, the operations manager, made us feel like lifelong friends, even though we had just met. Louise and Sam's dedication and love for street animals in desperate need deeply inspired Emily and left a lasting impression on us all. We set off early from Phuket to travel back to our halfway point home, the Sapli Villa Beach Resort in Chumphon, which we'd enjoyed so much. I promised Emily an extra day at the beach. Emily had lots of large canvases in the back of the minivan, and after her week with the elephants, she decided to start painting pictures of elephants, focusing not so much on their appearance, but rather on the magical feeling she had being around them. Little did we know, we were in for a big surprise. As the day went on, the sea dramatically shifted from its usual blue to a vibrant green, which we figured out was a massive algae bloom taking over. Then, at night, the whole scene transformed again as the algae lit up with a magical sparkling bioluminescence, like tiny underwater fireflies. It was a pretty incredible natural light show. Emily filled the canvases with elephants and dragons and so many details and unexpected things from her imagination. As the light faded, we packed everything away for the final stage of our return trip home. If you want to see the sunrise in Thailand, it's best to be awake at 6:30. Emily wanted to draw it, so was waiting at the beach for the moment the sun appeared above the sea. iPads are a wonderful thing for artists, and Emily loves drawing on it. She especially loves the undo button. We knew the drive from Chumphon home would be a long one, so we set off early. The end of holidays is always full of mixed feelings. You've had such a good time and you want to stay, especially by the sea, but you miss home too and want to see your family and pets again. The roads north are more like motorways that get gradually more congested as you get closer to Bangkok. Our driver is Mr. Vichya. We've been all over the place with him. He's actually independently wealthy and drives a taxi just because he loves driving people around. I confess, I find the driving in Thailand generally too fast for comfort, and Mr. Vichya understands this and takes a careful, steady speed, which reassures me, especially when travelling with family and friends. We have a helper named Book that stays with my mother-in-law Yai and takes good care of her and our pets when we're away. The piano arrived the next day, completing almost 2,000 kilometres door to door. Following 2 wonderful weeks together, Klahan took the train back to his village and we were safely back home again. Emily has always wanted to draw, paint and create things from the very first time she could hold a pencil. We've never had to suggest ideas for her paintings or creations because it was clear to us that we surely could never imagine anything as wonderful as what emerges from her when she's free to do what she loves. As artists ourselves, we recognise that feeling when your painting makes you want to dance. You can easily lose that feeling as a professional if you allow it. So it's a joy to see painting bring Emily such happiness. As a homeschooling family, to a certain extent, Emily has the freedom to follow her own ideas and direction, and we fit all the other subjects she needs to study for her annual homeschool assessment around the art and design that she loves and that comes most naturally to her. From the moment she wakes until late in the day, she's constantly drawing, painting or making something. Sometimes people think that because we're artists, we'd naturally want our daughter to be one too. But honestly, we've never seen it that way. Our main goal as parents has always been to support Emily in choosing what she loves most. We introduced her to all sorts of things when she was little, but nothing clicked like art. Some parents get a bit nervous when their kids are drawn to the arts because it can be a financially uncertain path. But if creating is truly in your heart, you can't ignore it. And the joy of making things, even when times are tough, is absolutely worth it. Once settled back home, I couldn't forget Takao, the dog I held in my arms at the piano at Soy Dog. In fact, I couldn't forget any of the dogs we'd met in that garden. I kept in touch with Sam, the operations manager at Soy Dog, and in one message, I asked him if we could adopt Takao. And after 2 weeks and a 1,000-kilometre journey from Phuket to Bangkok, Takao is finally living with us. Soy Dog goes to extraordinary lengths to find homes for the dogs they give sanctuary to. It's hard to imagine someone cared enough to drive this former homeless dog the exhausting 2,000-kilometre round trip. But they did, and happily. It was heartwarming to see the love and care they gave to these rescued animals, restoring to them the dignity and the feeling of being loved they truly deserved. So, our 2-week road trip came to an end with a new beginning. A new family member we will love and care for as best we can in her new forever home. We think Takao has never lived in a home before, but she loves the creature comforts, the attention, and is loving us back. Thank you to the Talang branch of the Phuket Elephant Jungle Sanctuary and the Soy Dog Foundation for the kindness you have shown us and the elephants, dogs and cats you care for so well. And thanks to you for watching.